I'm going to show you today how to make these headbands that go with the medical face mask. These headbands are really just a headband with 3 buttons. There's a button on each side just above the ears, and then one in the back that just holds that mask on there really tight. But these headbands, if you need to make some makeup super fast, I'm going to show you how to do that today. I'm going to start with a rectangle of this knit is super stretchy. And I experimented with some different sizes. For this particular fabric was so stretchy. This is about 18 by 6. I worked with some fabric this morning that had to be a little bit longer. It didn't have quite as much stretch to it. So this rectangle is 6 inches by 18 inches. And I'm just going to have the right sides up. And I'm going to fold it long ways. We call this hot dog. I'm going to fold it right sides together. And I'll just sew all the way down. That's my open end. I'll just sew all the way down this piece, creating a tube. When I sew with knits like this, I don't have a serger, so I make sure that my stitch length is pretty long, and then I give it a little stretch too as I'm sewing. Now I'll just turn this tube right side out, and the material is so stretchy and this is such a wide piece, I don't have to do any tricks with safety pins or ribbon or anything. Okay, I turned it right side out, and one end I tucked the edges under just about a ½ inch or so, and the other end, this is my seam where I sewed, and that's going to be, I kind of twisted the fold so that this was in the back, so that that's going to sit along the hair, and I'm going to take the other end and tuck it down into the folded end, just about a ½ inch or so. Okay, so this is my open spot here, and this is going to be the very back of the headband. So I'm just going to stick this back under the machine and sew over this area a time or two. And there's the headband. Now, when deciding where to put the buttons, I experimented with that a little bit this morning, and I'm going to put that, oops, let's turn it this way. I'm going to put that seam that I just made down at the bottom, and on my head, it worked out well to put your 2 buttons like exactly in the middle on opposite sides. So I'm just going to hand sew on a button right here and flip it over and put a button in the opposite spot right there. Okay, so I have my 3 buttons, and I've experimented with just 2 kinds of buttons, the ones that have the little back to them there, and then a flat button. But I did make sure when I was sewing on my flat button that I put a toothpick between the fabric and the button, and then I went around the stem with the thread a couple times, just so that you can get the elastic between the headband and the button. And that's all there is to it. When you put it on, you just make sure that you've lined the buttons up kind of on equal spots above your ears, and then the mask hooks right onto the buttons. Like that. Now I found that the mask that I was making that had 7-inch elastic on it, that then it was a little bit loose on my face since it's going over a button and not around an ear. So I started at first by just doubling over the button, and that helped. And then a friend suggested putting a button in the very back, and once the mask is on, looping the back of this bottom piece of elastic around that button in the back too, and that really made it snug on there. So if you're I don't know, I like the option of the 3rd button. I think it was tangled in my hair, but I think having it there as an option is a good idea. So anyway, that's how you make the mask. There's many other tutorials on how to make, that's how you make the headband. There's many other tutorials on how to make the mask.